The second congressional district may very well be represented after November's election by a gentleman named Steve Labate, who is in the Army Reserve and is running for the congressional office in the second congressional district. Mr. Labate, I want to thank you for joining us.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and I appreciate your having me.
Well, this is a bit of a departure for a military man going into the going into the Congress. It's been done before. What is the chief motivation, sir?
Well, quite frankly, I felt this is as much a calling as when I first came into service back in April 23rd of 1987. Hate to date myself, but it really is. For whatever ability I have when I'm speaking in front of a large group, it does resonate. My words tend to resonate with people. In fact, quite frankly, last year I had a half a dozen people who are asking me to run, and each time I said no, 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 it is a departure. However, after speaking to my wife and I consulted with her, she agreed with me and said, you know what, I think you should go for it. And since that time, we've been going full forward. We've gotten some great endorsements, and I've just surrounded myself by an incredibly formidable team. I'm really proud of them. I really am.
Of course, you have the most important element, and that is the missus's approval.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so that particular district has changed hands several times. What do you see as the big issue? Why do you want to replace the incumbent?
The incumbent, Steve Israel, in effect, he is been a 98% on the side of President Obama. What he basically does is he says one thing in the district, says one thing for the ears of the constituents, but does the total opposite when he's in Washington, D.C. He also happens to be head of the DCCC, which is a Democratic Congressional Committee, where his job is to go out there and turn all those Democratic seats, make sure they stay Democrat, and turn all the Republican seats, like some great Republicans like Allen West, and turn them Democrat. So he's also forgotten his district. But more importantly, his policies themselves, you can hardly say he has one. He says one thing here in the district for the consumption of the constituent base, but then again, he does the total opposite. That's totally uncalled for, but that's what we have here.
Do you have the latest on the statistics regarding registration in the district?
Right. We're going to be redistricted very shortly. However, we don't expect it to be a major change. But no matter what, the independent block is going to be the most important piece. But this by far is going to be my strongest suit, because everything that I say to a group or to you on the radio, it's common sense. It's just really common sense, and that's the kind of common sense that you have, having a full-time job, paying bills, paying car payments and mortgages, that most career politicians, frankly, seem to have forgotten or maybe never had. And that's basically, you do not put our country $16 trillion in debt. All right, that's common sense. It's like me. I'm at the middle of the road income-wise, and me deciding to go out and purchase a new Porsche. However, we have individuals like Steve Israel and other Democrats in office who feel that's okay to do it on the federal level because it secures their job. I think that's extraordinarily unfortunate. However, that will be my strongest suit, because whether you're Democrat, whether you're independent, Republican, or conservative, these are all common sense issues. They truly are.
Have you had opposition in the primary?
We don't see anything on the radar right now. Nobody that has anywhere near, what we've accomplished. We just had a fundraiser last week with Steve Forbes of Forbes magazine. We have literally about a half dozen members of Congress who pledged their support. Actually, Congressman Bob Turner came to an event of mine just last week. Extraordinary gentleman. So there's really nobody anywhere on the radar screen that could put up any kind of, major stand-up. People are always going to say, yeah, I want a primary. But with what we've accomplished, we've had 4 major events in the past 9 months. Actually, my first fundraiser was in June of last year. So now that I'm the nominee, it's not that we're just starting off at a crawl. We're already at a strong jog, and we're going to start sprinting from this point on.
I tell you this, I'm very impressed with the way you're speaking on this program. I think that you've adapted to the role very well. I'm just relieved, though, that there's no primary, and I'll tell you why. One of the things that makes a Republican a unique individual is they have an independent spirit. Unlike the Democrats, who are very socialistic and march in lockstep together, Republicans are like the original John C. Fremont. They charter their own course.
Right.
So I'm relieved. I don't want to, look what's going on in the presidential primary. These guys cutting each other up. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, before we get to that, if there is one, all right, which, again, these blips on the radar, they're really not anywhere near really toward, comparatively speaking, what we've accomplished. But if there is one, I actually look at it as a great opportunity because I don't see them as a threat. And I guess that's the lieutenant colonel in me. Any opportunity that I have to work my team and train my team and really gear them up for the bigger contest against the big one, the real important one against Steve Israel, I'll always take advantage. So I look at it in reality, if some of these other players do decide to do it, I look at it as an opportunity to train the team and keep moving forward. Now, for the back and forth, I always enjoyed, Ronald Reagan's sayings. I always have. And he always says, "Thou shalt not say anything foul against a fellow Republican," and I truly believe that. I think there's so much give and take right now on the national political scene that's really unnecessary. And it's unfortunate because we're just basically giving fodder and giving ammunition, all right, to those folks on the other side who are right now recording the TV shows where they're going back and forth against each other, and I'm sure they're recording, the program I'm on right now on your show. So it's very unfortunate, and I hope we can just stay locked in on the issues.
I want to wish you the best of luck. If I were in your district, I'd be happy to vote for you.
Thank you.
And I look forward to that night when the ballots are counted, and I can say to the audience, guess who won in the 2nd District? Steve Labate.
Well, I appreciate it, and it's been an honor. It's been an honor to be on your show. I've listened to you for many, many years, and thank you so much for inviting me. I definitely appreciate it.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Straight ahead, everybody.